So you're looking to create more fields within your GoHighLevel account on a contact record, and that's what we're going to look at in this video. Now, here we are in my sandbox account for our white label version called Client Connector. All the features and steps I'm going to show you is going to match what you're doing in your GoHighLevel account. So where do you find your custom fields? Well, those are located on the bottom left-hand side under Settings. Once you're in here, you're going to scroll down and you're going to find it right here called Custom Fields. Now, one thing to know is that you can create custom fields for both opportunity and contact records that are in the system. The other thing is understanding the use of folders. Now, what do I mean by a folder? Well, for that, let's go back and look at a contact record. We're going to go in here and we're going to look up Mickey Incredible. And what we're going to do is we scroll down. We notice here in GoHighLevel these little headings with a closed arrow. You click it, it will collapse down, open up. Those are what we consider folders. So to create multiples of those, you go into your settings and you go to your custom fields and you go add a folder. What I like you to think of is what grouping of data do you need to have under these different folders. For example, in our business, we have a podcast. We use our GoHighLevel account for getting our guests to submit their application for the podcast. So all the data and fields we want related to that, we have in a folder called podcast. We also have one for a marketing assessment, and we have another category for that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that example. So I'm going to say add folder, and we're going to call it podcast. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, you can do it also for opportunities, and it has the same functionality. So I'm going to click Save, and now it's created a folder. And if we click on folders on the top, we're going to see there it is right there. Now, what I like to do is if I'm creating the fields that go into that, I like to go to folders, click on that folder, and then start to create the fields. Now we're going to click on Add a Field. And now we are getting a pop-up that says what type of custom field do we want to create. And these are pretty self-explanatory. For this, I'm just going to say single line. And then we're going to click Next. And now we're going to ask for the field name. So this could be guest name. Okay. Now that may not be something you want to put in there because the main contact name would be for that guest. So this could be, let's go ahead and say guest Facebook account or LinkedIn or whatever. And then here it says group. Now here is a bit of a disconnect in the naming. By the time you watch this, this might be corrected. But we see up here, these are called folders, and now these are called groups. This is the same thing. This is where you put them. So it's called a group here, but it's called a folder up there. We can put a placeholder in there, or if you're doing API stuff and you want to actually create the unique key for the API, you can go down here and actually do that. Now you'll see it's grayed out a little bit of what it's going to be called in there, and then you can add your description in there. So we're going to go ahead and click Save. And that is how you create that field within the system. Now I'm going to create one more just to show you another example here. So in this case, we're going to do a drop-down list. So I click on that, and we're going to call this how did you hear about the show? Question mark. By default, because we're in that folder, it creates it in there. And now we can go ahead and create those options. So we can say Facebook. We're going to click another option. We can say LinkedIn. Or we could say personal invite. All right. You can add as many as you want in there. And we're going to click Save. Now, actually, before I click Save, these 3 lines, or 4 lines actually here, allow you to click and hold and rearrange. So if we want Facebook to be second, we can click and hold, drag it down, and now it's going to be second. And we're going to click Save. Now the same thing shows up in here. So if we wanted the how do you hear about us to be first, we can bring it up there. And that's just going to be how it shows up within the contact record. So let's go back and look at a contact record here. And now we see podcast, and there are those new fields that are in there. So it's as simple as that for creating those. Now let's go ahead and look at how we can remove them. So we're going to go back to our custom fields. We're going to click on folders. And then we're going to go into this folder right here. Now, one thing to mention is you can also rearrange the folders or the groups. So if you wanted the podcast to be higher up, you can go ahead and drag it up there for it to show up like that. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to delete these fields. So I'm going to delete one here. Okay. Now I'm going to come back here, and by purpose, I'm going to see what happens if I try to delete this here. Do you really want to delete? Yes. And you get a warning here. And it won't let you delete the folder until all the fields inside are either deleted or moved somewhere else. So if we want to edit this or move this, we can move this field to another folder and put it in there if we want. So maybe the grouping and the folders don't make sense anymore, but there's some data in there you want to keep. You're going to have to move it to another folder for that to happen. So we're just going to delete this right now and get rid of that. And then we'll come back here and we will delete that folder just like that. So if you've got any questions, please comment on the video down below and I'd be happy to answer those for you. There's going to be more videos about GoHighLevel that we're going to be creating for you. So please like and subscribe to this channel so that we can do more with these videos.